Welcome to part 2 of how to use effects in live sound mixing, and in this video we'll be adding reverb to our mix. This is going to be interesting. Adding reverb to vocals or solo acoustic instruments gives them character and a bit of lift above the rest of the mix. It can also be used to add sustain to long notes, which can come in handy when singers run out of breath. Its use, however, depends largely on the acoustics of the room or the performance venue. Now, adding more reverb to the mix in an already reverberant or echoic space can make the mix sound untidy. But if the room is dry and dull sounding by itself, then adding reverb can actually make it sound more pleasant. But in either case, the key is to use it sparingly, except the style of music demands it as a special effect. We already covered the process of setting up your effects processor in part 1, and so if you haven't seen that video, then you can watch it after this one. The link is in the description. Now we want to add reverb to our mix. In choosing the type of reverb to use, here's a clue. Don't select the same type of reverb as the room you're in. And so if your room sounds like a large hall, you shouldn't select a large hall reverb. Maybe you should try a room reverb or a plate reverb. And if your venue sounds like a small room, then a hall reverb might be pleasant. But in either case, just try the couple of reverbs you have at your disposal and then decide which sounds best and fits well into your mix. That should work well for you. There are usually two parameters to adjust for reverb: reverb time and initial delay. Now, reverb time determines how long the effects last. I usually like to match the reverb to the tempo of the song, and so longer reverbs for slow songs and shorter reverb works well for fast and energetic songs. Generally, I find that about 1 second to 2.5 seconds of reverb time works well for most songs. But if the venue is echoic and reverberant in itself, then you need to keep the reverb very short. Initial delay. This determines the length of time between the original sound and the start of the reverb. Now, the larger the delay, the larger the sense of space it creates. So usually I like to keep this short, between around 10 milliseconds, and then start working from there. This is mainly because most of our venues, especially in this part of the world, they have poor acoustic treatments to them, and so they are already reverberant in themselves. So there's no need creating large space and making this mix untidy. Now let's consider some examples. I've actually used the Yamaha MG24/14FX mixing console to create these examples, and this mixer comes with only one parameter to adjust for reverb, which is the reverb time. Initial delay has been fixed for this mixer, and I think that's been fixed at a very good value because it sounds really great. And so take a listen to these two examples, the first one without reverb and the next one with reverb. Note it's a vocal recording with a couple of instruments in the background.
What if I'm tainted, blank stares, a poised apparition, I'm barely human, light me with your fire, wood barren, damp, I could be rotten from the inside, or could I ignite? What if I'm tainted, blank stares, a poised apparition, I'm barely human, light me with your fire, wood barren, damp, I could be rotten from the inside, or could I ignite?
Now for that example, I used the vocal reverb program on Effects Processor 1 with a reverb time of about 1.5 seconds. Now notice how it helped lift the vocal above the rest of the instruments in the mix and gave it a sense of space and helped it feel the mix more pleasantly. Now let's consider another example. This is a saxophone recording that has been kindly sent to me by a friend, Justin Abara Official. There's a link to his channel at the description, so you definitely should check it out. Let's take a listen. Now here is a good rule of thumb with setting reverb levels. Now you want to make it more conspicuous in its absence than in its presence. Now what I mean by this is that you want to be able to miss it when it's gone and not really notice it when it's there, because when mixing live sound, especially in reverberant spaces, if you can hear the reverb, then it's probably too much. With reverb, you want to be able to turn it up to a point where you can just hear it and then back down a little bit, hit the mute button or the on off switch and see if it went away, and then put it back on and actually see if you can if it comes back. And I think if you can get it at that point, then you've set your reverb right, because it's better for the reverb to be more conspicuous in its absence than in its presence. So that's it for this video on reverb. In the next video, we'll be covering the topic of delay, which is a very interesting topic you wouldn't want to miss. So if you haven't subscribed, then hit the subscribe button and the notification bell in order to get notified when that video and subsequent video drops. If you got any form of value from this video, hit the like button, leave a comment. If you have any question or anything you want to say, I'll be more than happy to respond to it. So if you didn't check out the first video, there's a link, you can check it right here, and you can check other videos right here. I'm Kelvin. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.